Hello, I'm Rand here, and today we're looking at the Bauer grinder here. This is the Bauer cordless grinder here, 20 volt, lithium battery here, 1.5 amp. When you buy this tool, this is a Harbor Freight tool, by the way. When you buy this tool, you get just the tool and, of course, the wrench that goes on it there. That is literally all you get. You do not get a battery. So something to keep in mind, if you do want a battery, you either have to buy one of the other tools like the drill here, or compact that come with a battery, or you have to buy one separately. So again, this is the Bauer 20 volt cordless grinder here. Got a handle on it. You can change the handle to either side. There is no top position. That is one thing I do actually rather like, is having a top position on the grinder. Makes when you're doing cuts here, for example. So if you're gonna do a cut, you can have it here, and you can hold it and cut. But this doesn't have that, doesn't necessarily need it, I guess. It just doesn't have it. Oh well. For what it's worth, I got a DeWalt 60 volt. This does not have a top position either, so oh well. I will say you do get spoiled though if you do have one that has a top position, so 3 position, side and top. Let's give this a try here. We'll see how it works. The one thing I already don't like about it is this trigger here. It's not, I don't know, it's a weird trigger. Yeah, just I don't know. I'm not a fan of the trigger system. I don't know why they did it that way. Also, if you noticed how long it takes to spin up here. So yes, it takes a moment there for it to spin up. At least with my DeWalt here, it does not. It's pretty much instantly on. But of course, that's 60 volt versus 20 volt here. Not going to hold that against it. I've got a 1/4 inch grinding disc on it here. We're going to try grinding some stuff. Also got a cutting wheel here as well. We'll try cutting something as well. Maybe just make a cut, see how far it gets. In my experience here so far, and this is using the DeWalt, the battery does not last very long. So even though this is a 6 amp hour battery, 6 amp hour battery at 20 volts there, it doesn't last long. And of course, that would be 60 volt application there. This is only 1.5, so we'll see how it goes. Let's get set up here. We'll do some grinding with it. We'll switch over to the cutting wheel, see how it cuts, and see what we think. Okay, everyone, just got a 1/2 inch piece of steel clamped down here. We're just going to try grinding an edge on it, see how it goes, and then we'll switch over to the cutting wheel, maybe just cut a piece of this off, see how it does. So let's get started here. Like I said, just clamp down to the table. That should be good, hopefully. Hearing protection, of course. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to switch handle sides here. So I can hold it like that. Okay, you can definitely tell this doesn't have the power, at least compared to, again, to my my DeWalt anyway, and even compared to the corded grinders that I have here. It does not have the power that a corded, or in my case, the DeWalt has here. With that being said, however, it does do the job. You can't like put a lot of weight into it. You could probably hear as I was grinding there, it's like, whoa, it definitely bogs it out. I can bog it out if I push too hard. But as long as you go at it somewhat lightly, it does do the job. I guess I can't really fault it for that. It's obviously, again, it's 20 volt here. It's not going to have the power of the 60 volt. I don't know what amp hour this is necessarily considered here. This is the 4.5 inch one, by the way. 7,000 RPMs. Doesn't really have an amp hour on it, I guess. I know on a lot of grinders they rate them in amp hours. So I've got a 7 amp hour one. I think my big one's like a 9 or something like that. So the position of the guard here is adjustable, which we will be making use of here when we go to cutting. which I guess we'll set up for that right now here. So let's switch over to the cutting wheel. We're going to try cutting across this here. Again, this is 1/2-inch plate, so it's fairly thick, but at least something in the case of all my grinders, they can easily do that. Okay, and then to change out disc types on here, we're going to hold in the lock there, the wrench, spin that off, and a lot of times when you're going to a thinner wheel like this piece here has to be flipped over. You notice there's a ridge on that. That will sit down in the disc there. But when you got a thin one, you already have this top piece that's sitting in it, and it's not going to mate properly. So you got to flip this over, and now it goes on that way. And tighten it down. Okay, we're ready to make a cut here. Let's see how it does. And this also is where you want to adjust the guard, so when you're cutting, you can kind of cut like that. You don't want to have to cut like this. So let's fire it up here. Okay, just like that. We're at 2 bars. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, everyone, I think I've done enough to draw some conclusions here. One, I did not finish the cut here. I went maybe 3/4 of an inch here, so it's like, no, okay, this just is not working. You try to bear into it a little bit, and it would just quit on you. The only thing you could do is go at it like really lightly, which would take forever. And again, this is 1/2-inch plate, so I get it is a little bit thicker, but that would take a while to cut with this. Just unacceptable in my opinion. The grinding, it did okay. It did okay with that. Again, you couldn't really put a whole lot of weight into it and grind hard. You had to go pretty lightly at it, but it did do the job there. One thing that might help here is if I had brand name cutting discs. I just got some cheap ones here. But with that being said, the cheap ones do work with all my other grinders. So I don't think that's the fault of the grinding disc necessarily, because like I said, they work with all my cheaper, or my other grinders. So yes, I don't think this is going to get my recommendation. It's okay for grinding and just okay. For cutting, at least on 1/2-inch, absolutely not. Not good at all. We could maybe try a smaller piece. I don't think I'm going to bother doing that though. See, maybe like a 1/4 inch. See if it'll cut that. It might not either. I'm just guessing here. It'll probably still cut it. Anyway, it will cut this too. It's just going to take a while. So, not my recommendation. If you are looking for a cheaper grinder, I think you're probably still better off going with a corded. This is just a Harbor Freight one here too. I think, what are they, like $35 or something like that. These work really nice, no complaints with it. Also has the 3-position with the handle there, so that is kind of nice. So yeah, this Bauer tool here is not going to get my recommendation. Of all the ones I've tested here so far, the other 3 have been great, no complaints. The drill, the impact, even the saw here, quite to my surprise, was actually quite good. I was surprised at it. I didn't think it would be so good, but it was. So this, however, was not so good, and it doesn't particularly surprise me. And I mentioned this in my other videos here. I did try to order bigger batteries. They are back ordered. I could not get them. Don't know if I will get them either, but that might help. I don't know. That was, again, I seen that right away. It's like, oh, they got bigger batteries. And knowing my DeWalt tools here, bigger batteries for some of these, like grinders and saws, is definitely very beneficial. So it might be in part to the battery. The battery's just not big enough for this grinder. Don't know, not sure, don't have the bigger battery, I can't test it. Again, don't know if I will get the bigger battery because they are back ordered. And back ordered for like 2 months, so at this point, don't know. It is down to 2 bars here, by the way. Or 2 lights. It was fully charged, came fresh off the charger before I started this video. So that shouldn't be the issue. Anyway, you folks have any comments or questions about this, be sure to leave them below. Also, if you'd like me to test any of the other Bauer tools, let me know. We'll see what we can get our hands on. So as always, thanks for watching, and until next time.